think what I'd like to do is share how I got to polarity, because I think that's what's compelling and how it's transformed over time. Um, I had a very traumatic childhood, and I really spent most of my life wanting to die and hating myself, but I also loved physics. And I heard about this thing called polarity therapy, and I was both skeptical and curious, but really what it is the design of energy for the human form. So there's an operating system for the human form that gives us a pathway of uh, living liberation, is what I will say. And, Dr. Stone was the founder of Polarity, and he was an interesting human in that he was a midwife, he was an osteopath, a naturopath. He studied Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, and he also was a very deep meditator. So he knew things inside. So it wasn't just didactic information. And it's not like he created this information, because there is too much ancient history and knowledge. But what he did was synthesize the information in a way that he was trying to have the medical world that was becoming more and more allopathic remember the lost art of energy. And so basically what polarity is it says that our soul consciousness is operating through form in order to remember itself. That's the operating system. Most people think of polarity as hands-on work. I'm going to go get a polarity treatment. But that's not really what polarity is. That's to support this operating system that our soul consciousness in the human form is operating through it to help us remember. And how do we do that? That's the question. So in the ideal pattern, the soul sends through form in order to remember, and that's a circle, and it's an automatic return. But we have this thing called the mind. The mind is meant to be neutral, but the mind, we get born and we start seeing the world, and we start losing touch with that etheric, primal, pulsing energy inside of us, and we get stuck in the world of form. And when we're stuck in the world of form, we get fixated both on who we are because of form, not who we are on the inside.
Yeah.
Do we have to hustle and prove? Whatever, and if you bring race into it, then you have to prove 5 times as hard or 100 times as hard, and you don't get to rest. So you don't get to know that living energy inside you, because you're too busy surviving and hustling and grinding, right? So the path of polarity is returning the soul to the positive pull, instead of the mind thinking it's the positive pull, willing agendas, operating from biases, creating interpretations from hurtful experiences, and then believing they're the truth about you. I'm a piece of shit because this person hurt me when I was 5. So, and then keeping that piece of shit, excuse my language, I hope it's okay, I guess here, but
Oh yeah, please.
keep that piece of shit forefront in everything you do and see about yourself, right? And so, but that experience is over, but the mind is stuck in that groove. So polarity is about taking the time to slow down and get still inside, and use the forefront part of your brain that can observe, discern, instead of just the back part of your brain just reacts and acts on reaction and isn't discerning and observing and choosing. So I think polarity leads us to observing, learning, and discerning. And then also it invites us to become stewards of that life energy inside of us, and to serve it and let it inform us, instead of serving the world or serving the shit in our head, right? So we have another way to place our attention. And I think, so what polarity did for me when I was like, oh, there's a living energy inside of me, I can't deny that. It took me years of practicing, but eventually I didn't, hate myself or want to die anymore. But it's a slow path. It's not like this immediate, fix or something like that. It requires dedicated practice.